From KSAT 12, the 6 o'clock news starts right now.
And we begin tonight with a map that might leave you feeling shocked and uncomfortable.
Experts say, unfortunately, that's the wake-up call our community needs when it comes to child sex trafficking.
Our Courtney Friedman explains this map, which shows every zip code in our city where sex trafficking is happening.
Take a look at this map. These little red hearts hitting every corner of San Antonio. Those hearts represent one or more child sex trafficking victims in that zip code.
These are the children we've served over the last 3 years that have been trafficked. Some of them have been sold for sex. Some of them have been exploited through pornography.
April Molina is with Ransomed Life, an organization providing services to trafficking victims and spreading awareness.
That they're not just in the center of the city, that it extends pretty far out into the suburbs in every direction.
In a new campaign, they're letting the public know this does affect you and your kids, regardless of where you live.
Child predators are using online chat rooms and social media platforms to develop a relationship, a so-called relationship with kids. And then at a certain point, they convince a kid to send a nude picture. All of a sudden, they now have control. Meet me at this hotel, or we'll share this with your friends and your family.
As for red flags, notice changes in the kids around you. Are they hungrier than usual? Are they more exhausted, falling asleep in class? Are they dressing more unkempt or dressing up more? Do they have more expensive items like purses or phones?
If you suspect something, begin a conversation, telling the child you're safe to talk to and they won't get in trouble. Shame or threats from traffickers usually keep children quiet, so reporting it is up to you.
So if you think looking at the map is alarming, imagine all the kids that we don't even know about.
The key is teaching kids judgment and understanding so they know how to protect themselves. Courtney Friedman, KSAT 12 News.
The search is on for a suspect after a shooting on the east side that sent a man to the hospital late last night. This happened around 10 o'clock in the 4600 block of East Houston Street. Neighbors told officers they could hear shouting, then shooting. First responders found the 19-year-old victim with a gunshot wound to the head. He was rushed to a hospital in critical condition. No sign of the man police believe fired that shot. We're told that he ran off before they got there.
After spending almost 6 years behind bars in the Bexar County Jail, a suspect in 2 capital murder cases finally gets a trial date. Jose Baldomero Flores was arrested in 2016 in connection to 2 separate cold cases. Erica Hernandez takes us inside the courtroom for the latest.
In 2016, Jose Baldomero Flores was arrested and charged with the 2005 murder of Heather Wilms, who was found dead in her Leon Valley apartment, and the 2011 murder of Esmeralda Herrera, where Flores allegedly burned down her apartment.
For the record, Mr. Flores has been in jail, according to this docket at the time of the printing of this docket, 1,918 days.
437th District Court Judge Melissa Skinner ordering this case go to trial this year, as it is one of the oldest cases in her court.
I would like to find out what your prospective schedule is, because I'm looking at the summer.
The 2 murder cases remained unsolved until 2016, when investigators say evidence from the 2 scenes were linked back to Flores, who knew both women. Since then, there have been many hearings on the 2 cases. It appeared close to starting in 2020, but then the pandemic hit. A schedule order was officially made today, and jury selection will take place on July 29th, and the trial starting on September 5th.
And that September 5th trial date, it will only be for the 2011 murder case, and the state will be seeking the death penalty. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
The Kerr County Sheriff's Office arresting a man tonight after they say he was found with over 13 pounds of marijuana. Around 12:30 this afternoon, deputies pulled over 19-year-old Eric Porter along I-10. Investigators say that he was pulled over after speeding and making an unsafe lane change. Deputies searched the vehicle and they say they found 12 vacuum bags with marijuana, as well as materials used to sell the drugs. $1,000 in cash also found in the trunk, according to deputies. Investigators say that Porter was returning from Los Angeles with that marijuana. He's been booked into the Kerr County Jail. His bond has not been set yet.
San Antonio police looking for some help tracking down a suspect in connection with a robbery from back in January. According to investigators, the suspect targeted a store in the 1300 block of Bassey Road. That's near Blanco and Jackson Keller over on the north side. Officers say he pulled a gun and demanded a worker hand over cash from the register. then grabbed that cash and ran off. If you know anything about this case that could help out police and help find that suspect, call Crime Stoppers, 210-224-STOP.
Seguin and McQueenie natural gas customers hoping to get their gas back on soon. CenterPoint Energy has said that another company's damaged pipeline was behind the gas outages for more than 4,300 customers yesterday. Well, now it says the pipeline repair is complete and service should be mostly restored by Friday, though someone will need to be at home when crews come around to turn the gas back on. Now, restaurants that rely on gas-powered appliances like pizza ovens, grills, and fryers, they've struggled the past 2 days. At Kirby's Corner today, the staff couldn't do much else but clean after trying to muddle through yesterday with a very limited menu.
I would be having burgers on burgers on burgers, chicken, and a lot of hot dogs. But yesterday we were trying to run it on hot dogs and baked potatoes because we had no gas.
But some, like Davila's Barbecue, they came out ahead. Though the gas outage affected their ability to serve some items, it had no effect on their ability to smoke meat. And the owner says they saw a 2- to 4-fold increase in business over the past 2 days.
7 years after same-sex marriage in the U.S. was legalized, LGBTQ plus activists say times have certainly changed. Tied up in the courts for now, there's Governor Greg Abbott's order parents be investigated for child abuse if their children are undergoing gender-affirming medical treatments. And over in Florida, the legislature there has passed the Parental Rights and Education Bill, what opponents have dubbed Don't Say Gay Bill. Jesse DeGuiado tells us supporters can expect pushback at grassroots level and in the courts.
Protect trans youth! Protect trans youth! Helping lead last week's transgender rally was San Antonio's own Dr. Lulu.
I'm pissed off. I'm upset. I'm angry. I'm passionate. I want to do something about it.
Dr. Lulu spoke out not only as a pediatrician and counselor for at-risk transgender youth and their families.
As a mother of a transgender young adult, if you're coming for parents, you're coming for me.
She and many of the other parents who were there say they believe being supportive of their child's years-long gender-affirming process is not child abuse.
People actually think that supporting your child is abusive.
In Florida, its governor is expected to sign what LGBTQ activists call the Don't Say Gay Bill, limiting how sexual orientation and gender identity are taught from kindergarten to 3rd grade.
We're going to make sure that parents are able to send their kid to kindergarten without having some of this stuff injected into their school curriculum.
If anything, Pride Center San Antonio's executive director says it'll put them at even greater risk of suicide than they already are.
It increases the likelihood that they're going to be faced with bullying and discrimination and harassment.
Dr. Lulu says if Texas and Florida are any indication,
and nobody wants to be gay in today's world. No one except those who already are.
Jesse DeGuiado, KSAT 12 News.
Let's take a look at traffic out there right now. This is the TransGuide camera here at Loop 410 and Jackson Keller. You can see the main lanes in both directions. It is smooth sailing. Also on the access roads there, we've taken a look around town. Really no traffic troubles to tell you about right now.
We saw this exact same thing happen when the bubble popped in 2008 and 2009, and when gas prices were over $4.
Soaring gas prices at the pump have some people thinking twice before hitting the road, at least in their car. In Texas alone, today's price average, according to AAA, just shy of $4 per gallon. That's enough to convince some drivers to go electric, on 2 wheels anyway. Electric or e-bikes, one of the hottest items on the roads right now. Alicia Barrera visited a local electric bike shop in the King William area that's working hard to meet the demand.
As the Russian-Ukraine war continues, there's no telling how high the prices at the pump will soar or when it will end, leading more and more drivers to ditch their cars and opt for more sustainable options.
Electric assist. It's really changed the way a lot of folks look at bicycles. The electric bike allowed me to keep pace and keep up with these younger riders.
Marty Schlesinger is the co-owner of Small Planet e-bike in the King William district, and he says these bikes are quickly rolling out the door.
March was one of our best months ever, and this March we're 2 weeks into the month, and we're already on track to surpass what we made last year.
What is it about e-bikes specifically that are encouraging people to ditch their cars?
So with an e-bike, you can pedal past across the pump. You can also ride for a longer range, and probably the best part, because of that extra boost, you can haul heavier items without having to arrive sweaty to work.
Today, Joe Roberts and his wife Jody
We're not thinking about gas. That's probably the biggest plus of having the car.
added another electric set of wheels.
I live in a neighborhood with a lot of hills and I love to ride bicycles.
Experts say e-bikes are strong and quick enough to replace a car trip for errands and can range anywhere from $1,300 to $2,000.
There's longevity in these things if you really do take care of them. It's pretty impressive.
Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
Not a bad time of year to enjoy a bike ride as well. Look outside right now, 62 degrees. Turned out to be a beautiful day.
Oh, yeah.
But we know we got some changes, Katie.
Yes, don't get too comfortable essentially any day this week, because chances are the following day things will really change, and we've got more big temperature swings coming as the weekend approaches. Today, not too bad. Cold this morning, 39 was our low at the airport. We made it up to 64 this afternoon. So with highs today generally in the 60s, a few spots in the low 70s, it was still a touch unseasonably cool for this time of year. Currently, we're at 65 in Pleasanton, 68 in Cotulla, and 62 up in the Hill Country. It will be cool this evening, but fairly comfortable. Temperatures will fall through the 50s after the sun goes down. If you'll be out tonight, a light jacket will be just fine. Won't be overly windy. Winds will be light. The air is nice and dry, so a little chilly, but comfortable as we wrap up your Wednesday. More sun tomorrow, but our next front arrives Friday morning. It is going to be another doozy, and I've got the latest on the potential widespread freeze coming up this weekend. We'll talk about it all in just a little bit, guys.
Thank you, Katie. Turning now to news around Texas. Travis Scott announcing a $5 million community initiative in the wake of the deadly crowd surge at his November 6 Astroworld Festival concert. 10 people were killed in the surge that began shortly after Scott took the stage as a headlining act. Hundreds of others were hurt. Scott says his Project Heal will give $1 million in academic scholarships to historically Black colleges and universities.
The initiative will include free mental health resources and establish a creative design education program at a nonprofit center in Houston. And Scott says it will also fund a new device that's currently being developed that will use technology for event safety. Hundreds of lawsuits over the event were discussed at a legal hearing last week. In an interview back in December, Scott said he did not know what was happening as he performed.
I'm Stefania Jimenez. As we continue to cover the devastation in Ukraine, those images and stories are very personal to a local couple. They live in San Antonio, but their parents are in Ukraine, and they're doing everything possible to get them to San Antonio safely, and you're going to hear from them. Also, San Antonio police are zeroing in on certain areas of town that are known hotspots for crime. We're going to tell you how the program is working to keep you safe. Plus, we all know how expensive gas is these days. The thing is, prices are affecting the people who are most vulnerable. We'll see you for these stories and a lot more on the Night Beat.
All right, thanks, Stephanie. Let's take a look outside with Sky 12 high above the AT&T Center tonight. We are watching to see if history is made there this evening with Coach Pop.
Beautiful day to be out and about, maybe hanging out in the parking lot before the game starts.
Yeah. All right, let's see if Pop wins. Let's see if we can win for like one more day before winter returns.
Yeah, if you liked today, I think you'll like tomorrow even more, because we've got more sunshine and it will be a bit warmer, a lot more seasonable tomorrow, but very short-lived, because then again by Friday, if we go the other direction, Friday will be a cold day. That sets us up for the late season freeze this weekend. So I want to start with reminding folks, we talked about this on the news at 5, that SAWS customers stage 1 watering restrictions go into effect tomorrow. This is a handy graphic to have. We've got one just like it on KSAT.com right now, so you can check it out in an article there and then save it and be able to reference it. This probably doesn't come as a huge surprise for a lot of people, because rainfall has been sorely lacking over the past several months. Obviously, we're not too far into March, about 9 days, obviously, We have only picked up a trace of rain this month, but since November 1st, about 4¼ inches of rain, but that's nearly 4¼ inches below average through that time period. So rainfall has been lacking. It's reflected in the numbers, also in the drought monitor. We will get an updated look at this tomorrow. I don't think we'll see a whole lot of change, definitely no good change. We could see this swath of extreme drought down to the southwest of San Antonio actually expand in coverage just a bit because of lack of rainfall recently. Looking forward, only chance of rain in the extended forecast over the next 5 to 7 days will be on Friday, mainly through the first part of the day. Some scattered light rain will be possible, and when I say light rain, I really mean it. A lot of that is going to be some mist and drizzle, the kind of rain that is just not going to add up to much at all, and that'll be at the hands of our next cold front. Let's talk about this front. It is going to be another doozy. It's going to be pulling in some cold air from the north here. It will start to drop into Texas tomorrow, but it'll still be off near the I-20 corridor by about this time tomorrow evening. So we'll be in the 70s, some spots flirting with 80 tomorrow afternoon. A really nice day if you liked today. But Friday morning, cold front will move through our area. It gets to San Antonio between about 9 and 11 a.m. with windy, cold conditions. Also that chance for some scattered light rain as well. And then we clear out Friday night behind the cold front into Saturday morning. And it's that clearing and also that very cold air mass that sets us up for our widespread late season freeze. A little bit more on the rain chances as we head into Friday morning. Again, we're talking some scattered light rain, mist and drizzle developing by early Friday morning as the cold front is approaching. We could have a couple of heavier showers, but they won't last very long. And as the front continues to push southeast after lunchtime, it'll take the showers with it, and we'll just be waiting on skies to clear out Friday afternoon and Friday evening. Again, with the clear skies overnight Friday, that is what will help our temperatures to fall down below freezing across the whole area. So this is our first look at one of our high resolution forecast models that does a really good job with cold fronts like this. And this is the numbers it's giving us heading into Saturday morning. And we agree with this particular forecast model. So we're going to go a freeze for the whole area, a hard freeze for the hill country Friday night into Saturday morning. I know folks have already done some planting. You'll need to make preps to protect that vegetation as we get into Friday night and the weekend. Temperatures now very comfortable. We'll be missing this weather in about 48 hours or so. A look at your Thursday. Also another comfortable day. I can't rule out a little patchy fog early tomorrow. Won't be a big issue. 63 at lunchtime, 74 your high tomorrow with a nice south breeze. By Friday morning, it's overcast. We've got the very light rain around. Front comes through mid-morning. We go from 59 early in the day Friday to about 42 in the afternoon, and then freezing this weekend. Thankfully, by this time next week, be a little closer to 80, guys.
Yeah, at least we got some sunshine coming our way this weekend.
Let those kids go crazy tomorrow outside so they'll be tired on Friday when they can't go outside.
Oh, I wish it worked like that.
All right, Greg Simmons is courtside at the AT&T Center where there's something going on there.
Yeah, just one more win needed for Pop to become the all-time winningest coach in NBA history. Will that happen tonight? Will it happen on Friday? Will it happen on Saturday? Who knows? That's why we're down here at the AT&T Center to find out. When we come back, a live preview of tonight's Spurs game against the Toronto Raptors, and the Cole Cougars would like to be back-to-back state champs. When we come back. Good evening, everybody, and welcome live to the AT&T Center, where other than their 5 NBA championships and the celebrations that follow, this could be the biggest night in Spurs franchise history with a win over the Toronto Raptors, because that would make Greg Popovich the winningest coach in NBA history. He's already tied the record of the 1,335 wins held by his former boss and mentor Don Nelson, and with a win over the Toronto Raptors tonight will surpass that mark in front of the hometown fans. And what makes this so incredible for Pop, he's been able to accomplish his milestone with the same team over the last 26 years. No other coach can claim that record. Does it warrant a Gatorade bath if the Spurs pull out the win tonight?
Hopefully. I mean, that's what everyone else thinks, but I mean, you might just have to, you know? Might just have to.
Somebody's getting fined if that happens, I think.
Yeah, we put it on DJ's tab.
You may remember that DeJounte Murray was fined an additional $20,000 after he was ejected in the loss of the Memphis Grizzlies when he threw the game ball at the legs of the referee. Tonight is also a chance for rookie Joshua Primo to get another NBA game under his belt, his 36th overall.
It's been great. Getting a chance to just apply what I've been learning in the G, continuing to just learn each and every day, continue to be a sponge, and just try to, every time I get out there, help the team to get a win or continue to win.
The best thing that I've seen is, his confidence has always been the same since day one. Even when he wasn't playing, to playing a little bit, to having a slump, to playing a lot more now. As a rookie, you want the opportunity to learn and grow. He's only 19 years old, so for him to get significant minutes now, who knows how it's going to be in year 2, year 3, year 4, and so on and so forth. So at this point, I tell him all the time, watch film, grow every single day, and, continue to be the best player you can be.
Unfortunately, Lonnie must have given Joshua his stomach ailment because he has just been a late scratch for tonight's game. Tip time is at 7:30. There are 3 San Antonio area teams are headed to the state high school basketball tournament in the Alamo Dome this weekend, and one of them is the defending state champions themselves, the Cole Cougars. That's after they won their first state title since 1989 when Shaquille O'Neal led the Cougars to the championship that season with undefeated record. Now after beating Marion 71-37 to win their 4th straight regional title, now the Cole Cougars will be looking to win back-to-back state titles. But first they have to face Hitchcock in the 3A semifinals on Thursday in the Alamo Dome.
They're pretty good, but it's definitely gonna be a tough one, as all teams in the state tournament is really good, and this last few games of the season we just gotta work hard and play as hard as we can.
Playing in the Dome, depth perception, the big stage, all the people, it's different from regular games, district games. So, definitely having that experience in the Dome is huge.
All right, here's a look at the schedule starting tomorrow, Thursday, 3 p.m. Cole versus Hitchcock, 8:30. Bernie Champion goes after Mansfield Timberview. And on Friday, one game from the area teams at 3 o'clock, Bernie versus Wichita Falls, Hershey, if you will. Good luck to all the teams in the state high school basketball tournament. And good luck to Coach Pop and the Spurs tonight to see if they can make NBA history. Live from the AT&T Center, Greg Simmons, KSAT 12 Sports.
All right, Greg. Thank you, Greg. Our KSAT Q&A is coming up next. It is incredibly hard to watch what is playing out in Ukraine right now. Russia's attacks on that country, and perhaps just as hard to try to understand what led up to this. But history definitely plays a role in all of this and can give us some context and perspective. We have Dr. Rosa Aloisi, Associate Professor of Political Science and an international relations expert with Trinity University, joining us now to talk about that. Dr. Aloisi, thank you for being here. Let's first start with the very basics. Why is Ukraine the target for Vladimir Putin?
Thank you for having me, first of all. So we have spent a huge amount of time in the past weeks looking at the actions that Russia has been taking in Ukraine. But we need to be absolutely careful to the words that Putin has been pronouncing as he's been in interviews about why he's taking these actions. He has been saying for a long time now that Ukraine is ancient Russian soil, that Ukrainians and Russians are one people, all people. He speaks of Russia creating Ukraine. Now, there is a historical truth to the fact that Ukraine and Russia history has been interconnected for centuries. But Putin is selectively cherry-picking history and is definitely forgetting that for a long period of time, Ukraine has experienced, even in the early 1900s, has experienced independent movements, nationalistic movements. And it is also forgetting that in 1991, when the Soviet Union collapsed, overwhelming amount of the population in Ukraine voted in a referendum to gain independence from Russia. So what we can say is definitely that Putin is mounting a dangerous rhetoric, which can justify many other countries intervening in smaller and less powerful countries just because there are some historical ties. It is, in a way, a post-colonial rhetoric that is very dangerous and should be stopped as soon as possible.
Vladimir Putin has given all sorts of reasons, propaganda for why he is doing this. Why do you think this particular time in history right now he decided to take this action?
Tim, going to your point, I think that this is something that is not unexpected. If we look at Putin's action in Ukraine, this has been a long time coming. Let's just remember that in 1997, there was a pact between Ukraine and Russia and a mutual agreement establishing the mutual respect of borders and control of territorial integrity, respect of territorial integrity. But in 2004, if we fast forward a little bit, in 2004, if we look at Europe, at the map of Europe, we see that previous communist countries like Poland, Slovakia, had already become members to the European Union. And in 2004, when Ukraine went through elections, Putin was very supportive of Yanukovych, which was the pro-Russian candidate. This moment in time is the moment in which we actually see Putin showing how far his displeasure with the expansion of the European Union or the request by Ukraine to enter the European Union, how displeased he is with this kind of demands. And so I think that is pretty much trying to send a message that once he has established a control in Belarus with Lukashenko, which is a pro-Russian president, now he wants Ukraine to be in the same type of realm of political ideology.
You have talked about, well, we all know that history can be a great teacher, and you've talked about how some historical clues here were missed or either ignored. So based on what we have seen play out in history, what do you think that indicates about what Vladimir Putin's goals are here?
That's an extremely important and very good question. Again, we go back to 2014 with the annexation of Crimea, and then the Russian support of pro-Russian separatists in Ukraine, and now the declaration of the recognition of independence of the Donbas area. I think that the ultimate goal of Putin is that of establishing a sphere of influence, a clear sphere of influence, which has shrunk a little bit in the past decade. And it is mostly due to the fact that Ukraine has asked several times to the European Union to allow Ukraine to become a member of the European Union and allow Ukraine to become a member of NATO. So I think that Putin is trying to send a message that there is a line that is clearly marked, and it is the border of Ukraine, and that border should not be crossed by the European Union. So I believe that that is probably the ultimate goal of Putin, and we hope that it doesn't escalate into other countries that are NATO members.
That is certainly the hope, but we have what seems like ways to go as we watch this play out. Dr. Rosa Aloisi with Trinity University, political science professor, international relations expert. Thanks for sharing some of your expertise here and that historical perspective that a lot of people are trying to untangle right now. We appreciate your time.
Thank you so much, Myra. Thank you, team. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, and have a good evening.
We'll be right back.
On a sunny day like today, our skin cancer risk increases. How to treat it is becoming more clear. In fact, doctors are looking to our gut for a connection to our health. Ursula Perry with new thoughts on skin cancer treatments and gut bacteria.
Your gut's microbiome has a lot more control when it comes to your overall health than you might think.
They are dynamically interacting with our physiology, with our moods, with our medical health.
Researchers at Oregon State University confirmed that changes to the gut microbiome in melanoma patients allowed them to respond better to their cancer treatments. In their study, some of the patients showed either tumor reduction or disease stabilization that lasted more than a year. An observational study also found a link between high dietary fiber and better responses to immune therapy for melanoma. So, how do you maintain better gut health?
High fiber, low sodium diets, and certain kinds of food groups can promote good gut bacteria.
Sources of fiber include oats, barley, nuts and seeds, peas, avocados, oranges, and Brussels sprouts. The ideal amount of fiber a person should have is 25 to 30 grams a day. People who tend to eat foods like fruits, vegetables, and whole grains that are high in fiber report they already have better gut health.
And the opposite is also true when it comes to stress. It can have a negative impact on your gut. You can take a probiotic supplement that may help, but there's so many on the market right now, you probably should talk to your doctor first. Ursula Perry, KSAT 12 News.
Take a look outside with live cam once again. Lots of sun out there today. Of course, protection from that is necessary year-round, but we're nice to see it this time of year when we can get it, Katie.
Yeah, especially after how gloomy Monday was and then most of Tuesday as well. We've got another beautiful sunny day coming up for you tomorrow. But don't get too comfy. In fact, I just sent that out on Twitter. Do not get too comfortable tomorrow, because Friday will catch you by surprise. We'll talk more about Friday's front coming up. A look at today's almanac, 39 our morning low, up to 64 this afternoon. We'll be about 10 degrees warmer than that tomorrow afternoon. 61 now, so temperatures will quickly fall through the 50s this evening after the sun goes down. It's already gone down there, mostly clear at the airports. Talk more about the front and the late season freeze as a result of the front coming up next.
Spurs fans could see history tonight at the AT&T Center.
That's right. Longtime head coach Greg Popovich, one win away from breaking the record for most coaching wins in NBA history. RJ Marquez caught up with fans to discuss their thoughts on Coach Pop. RJ joins us live from the AT&T Center.
Yeah, good evening, Tim and Myra. Obviously, fans starting to fill into the AT&T Center as the doors just opened up here about 15 minutes ago. And you know what, guys? There's just a little bit of a different buzz out here today. The Spurs are obviously rebuilding, so while they're not necessarily in the title chase, they are definitely in the chase to get Coach Greg Popovich this record. We were out here earlier with fans lined up as early as 5 o'clock this afternoon and ready to go for what could be a historic win for the Spurs and their head coach. And just a prime example of how Coach Pop has spanned generations of Spurs fans. People out here, of course, rocking Tim Duncan jerseys, Manu Ginobili jerseys, and the younger generation wearing DeJounte Murray jerseys. One family out here even naming their son after Manu. But, of course, all these fans here to celebrate what has already been a historic coaching career. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Greg Popovich?
The way he teaches, the way that the team is, it's like real respectable, real. Everybody wants to be like us. We're like the Patriots of basketball.
Coach Pop, he's been with this organization for a long time now, and I think it's deserved that he gets, the #1 of all time.
It'll be amazing. It'll be like worldwide. It'll be like everybody will be all happy, enjoying about how he was a good coach.
All right, guys, and just to put this in perspective, Greg Popovich's first win with the Spurs, first regular season win, was back in December of 1996. DeJounte Murray was 3 months old, and 8 Spurs players had not even been born. So it's been a pretty amazing run for Coach Pop, and hopefully these fans can get the Spurs the victory tonight. Tim and Myra, back to you guys.
I'd love to see Pop's face if DeJounte Murray told him that.
Yeah, and it's like you just made him sound pretty old.
Yeah, no.
Beautiful day out there today, Katie.
Oh, yeah, really nice for folks heading out to the game. That's going to be very enjoyable. Really, all you'll need, long sleeves or a light jacket, not too shabby at all. Let's take a look at the time lapse. We had some clouds around early in the day, mid and high level clouds. but they filtered out really quickly. And by this afternoon, nothing but blue sky. Really enjoyed that. Hope you did as well. 61 now at the airport. Low humidity. 61 also in New Braunfels, starting to fall into the upper 50s in the hill country. Still 70 down in Laredo. Our dew point numbers are down. They're in the 20s. That's feeling very, very dry. And our winds are light. They've started to move around to the east today, but with the exception of Del Rio, we've got a wind just between about 5 to 10 miles per hour. So it will be cool this evening for sure, but not overly chilly with light winds in place. Nothing to see on satellite and radar. As you saw, skies there are clear, and with clear skies, light winds overnight, temperatures will fall back into the 30s for a lot of us, but I don't have a freeze in the forecast for anyone overnight. Mid-30s across the hill country. We'll land right around 40 here in San Antonio. Some of the outlying areas, 38 Pleasanton, 36 Hondo, also a low around 36 in Gonzales. Tomorrow afternoon, a bit warmer than it was today. Plenty of sunshine. 78 the high in Pleasanton. Tomorrow 74 New Braunfels. 78 Uvalde. Wouldn't be surprised to see a few low 80s on the board south and west of San Antonio tomorrow afternoon. So through 5 p.m. tomorrow, clear skies. It'll be late tomorrow evening and overnight that cloud cover starts to fill back in from the south. So by early Friday, we're overcast. We've got areas of mist, drizzle, also some very, very light spotty rain showers. A chance for some scattered light rain will continue through basically the first part of the day Friday as our next cold front moves through. 8 a.m. it's working through the hill country. It should get to San Antonio between about 9 and 11 a.m. on Friday, then dropping south of Highway 90. A few showers still will be possible as the front is moving through, but as we get past lunchtime on Friday, as the frontal boundary itself moves off closer to the Gulf Coast, our rain chances should really come to an end quickly because the air will quickly become really dry. A few lingering sprinkles through about lunchtime, definitely not out of the question. But as we get past lunchtime into Friday afternoon, Friday evening, skies will actually really start to clear out. That will continue overnight into Saturday morning. That plays into our widespread freeze. More on that in just a second. You'll see the 40% chance of rain Friday morning. I want to reiterate, this rain is going to be very light. It's not going to stack up to much at all. I think the most some of us could see is less than a quarter inch of rain. A lot of folks will see even less than that. And unfortunately, Friday's chance of light scattered rain is the only chance of rain in the next 7 days. So a gray, somewhat damp start to the day Friday with the front moving through. Temperature drop will be steep once again. Early part of the day Friday, we're right around 60. Then the front comes through. By lunchtime, we're dropping into the 40s, and we should land somewhere right around 42 Friday afternoon. So another upside down day Friday as this cold front blasts through. Also windy again, north winds 20 to 30, gusting up to 40, 45 on Friday. Just a big oof is what I give Friday. I mentioned clearing skies Friday night into Saturday morning. That colder air mass coming in, a widespread late season freeze is expected. Here are your first look at your forecast low temperatures for Saturday morning. A hard freeze for the hill country. Everyone else should be in light freeze territory, but everyone should plan on a freeze Friday night, Saturday morning. Potentially again Saturday night into Sunday morning. I know folks have already done some planting. We'll need to make some preparations over the weekend to protect that vegetation. Hopefully this is the last one, and by next week we're back closer to 80, guys.
My plants have done more traveling over the winter months than I have. Backyard,
outside,
garage, backyard. Yeah.
In case you missed it, coming up next. Today's In Case You Missed It.
It's Wednesday, March 9th.
Police taking away a driver in handcuffs after a deadly crash.
Officers in Live Oak say that driver may have been intoxicated. Police tell us last night they were called to investigate a crash in the 7900 block of Pat Booker Road. That's on the northeast side. A driver in a pickup truck crashed into a small car. Police say that driver was 32-year-old William James Ballestero. Officers say witnesses reported that Ballestero was speeding and ran a red light. Police say a woman that was in the car that was hit died at the scene. Officers took Ballestero into custody. He was later booked and charged with intoxication manslaughter.
This morning, cities of Seguin and McQueenie continue to deal with gas services that have been cut off to thousands of customers. As a result, many aren't able to heat their homes. Seguin ISD says the school day is not being impacted. However, the superintendent is advising kids to bundle up as they go to class.
Now to a proposed bill making headlines around the nation today, dubbed the Don't Say Gay bill in Florida. Governor Ron DeSantis is expected to sign it in the coming days. The bill would ban lessons in sexual orientation or gender identity in kindergarten through the 3rd grade. Community advocates warn this bill will prevent safe spaces for students and teachers, while supporters argue the bill is meant to empower parents.
Happening tomorrow, San Antonio water systems entering stage 1 water restrictions. That means SAWS customers are going to have to make some changes. Those include watering with an irrigation system, sprinkler, or soaker hose only once a week, and that only happens before 11 a.m. or after 7 p.m. We have all of this information on KSAT.com.
All right, tomorrow morning, if you'll be out early, you definitely will need a jacket. We'll start off near 40. A couple hours with some patchy fog possible, not out of the question, but by the afternoon, sunny and warmer. 70s tomorrow with a nice south breeze, 5 to 15. Increasing clouds late tomorrow night will bring us to a cold and windy Friday with the arrival of our next cold front. Here we go. Temperatures falling into the 40s Friday afternoon. Widespread freeze Friday night and Saturday night this weekend. By early next week, a lot more seasonable. So just keep your eye on that if you're not a fan of the cold weather, guys.
All right. Thank you, Katie. And thank you for watching the news at 6.
See you back here for the Night Beat tonight at 10. Until then, have a good evening.